Smackdown review for the June 20th episode of Smackdown. I'm Brandon. I'm by myself this week, but this is the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling. So, a little bit different this time, and that's okay. Will is out for a wedding, so it's just a solo review this time. Hopefully, we'll go a little bit quicker this time. So, we started out tonight in Grand Rapids, Michigan with LA Knight. LA Knight starts to show off talking about, I've been screwed out of Money in the Bank. I decided to go ahead and take money into my own matters into my own hands. Decided to cost Braun Breaker. Decided to cost Bronson Reed. I got cost as well. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So LA Knight sits there and cuts a promo. And that's when Paul Heyman comes out. LA Knight calls out Seth Rollins, but instead gets Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman sits there and talks about, you do not boo the name of Seth Rollins. So he tries again with the crowd. Seth freaking Rollins. Everybody goes ahead and boos him anyway. So it's nice to kind of see that a little bit here. LA Knight talks about, why are you here? Clearly, you guys do not have a lot of enemies at all. Paul Heyman gives him a stern warning. It's time for you guys to get... it's time for you to get out of Grand Rapids. If you don't, something bad will happen to you. And he says that is not a prediction. That is a spoiler. LA Knight says, you are like a leech. You're talking so tough. It's just the two of us right now. So LA Knight goes ahead and throws down a challenge. Talks about molly-whopping Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman slides out of the ring and again says, hey, I'm warning you. You need to leave. So we go ahead. At that point, Paul slides out. Basically just says, here you go. I told you. I promised you. That's when Braun and Bronson, no music this time, just dressed in black, head to toe, they come out. They try to get the one up on LA Knight this week. Ends up rolling out to the ring. LA Knight ends up getting a chair, swinging it. At the end of this, LA Knight actually stands tall over Bronson and Braun and Paul Heyman for this matter. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to drop this one right off the bat. About 15-minute segment here to start the night. It was okay. It was all right. I wouldn't say it was anything great, anything spectacular. It was fine. It wasn't anything I was really excited to look forward to. LA standing tall with the chair was fine. We later find out that Bronson and LA Knight is tonight. But for me, you could have started off the show something a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this one right out of the gate here. Right after that, we slide right into Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. Women's Queen of the Ring semi-final. This match was good. It was an exciting match. Kind of quick, to be honest. The matches tonight seem to kind of not be so long. A lot of promos tonight, a lot of lengthy promos. Matches were kind of short and sweet. So you had the back and forth between Alexa and Asuka. Asuka, nice to see her in some singles action again this week. See her in action again. But returned to singles. She was in the Fatal 4-Way. Back and forth. Led basically to Alexa trying the Sister Abigail, which got countered. Later on, Alexa hit a nice DDT off of a drop kick from the middle rope, I believe. Basically, you go and Twisted Bliss again. She goes up to the top. Tries to go for that. She second guesses herself and kind of says, no, Asuka, don't run away or I'm going to get you basically. So she goes ahead. Asuka gets out into an armbar, which Alexa gets into a roll-up. She once again goes for the Twisted Bliss later on in the match. And this would be the end sequence. Asuka would get the knees up. She'd roll out of the way. Hit her with the Empress Impact. Asuka. 1, 2, 3. Asuka gets the win here. I am going to pop this. Nice to see Asuka back with the win. Singles win at that over Alexa Bliss. Asuka looks pretty good here. Like I said, a short match, kind of short and sweet. But now Asuka goes on to face the winner of Jade Cargill and Roxanne Perez. So you go ahead and give me that. Asuka has always been that kind of main force. She could maybe go up against Io for the SummerSlam stuff. So I'm going to pop this. This was nice. Right after that, we had Byron Saxton walking in the back. Me, Shannon, B-Fab say, hey, we're going to go talk to Nick Aldis about tag titles. Man, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Jade goes ahead, and Jade's back there. And Byron basically asks her, hey, you have a great match coming up against Roxanne Perez. How do you feel? And she says, Roxanne has potential. She's the future, but she's not ready. I am the storm, a woman who can walk through the wind. I am not walking into wind. I'm walking into rain. She talks about walking through fire. She talks a really good promo here from Jade. Really kind of enjoyed that. She also talks a little bit about Asuka as well. But good stuff here from Jade. Really liked what I saw from Jade here. Really excited for that match on Monday. Roxanne versus Jade Cargill. I expect Jade to win. I expect them to set up Jade Cargill versus Asuka in, a week now. Looking at Queen of the Ring, King of the Ring stuff at Night of Champions. Jade Cargill's going to just look phenomenal. Roxanne Perez is going to sell her ass off for Jade Cargill, and I cannot wait for that. It's going to be great. So then after that, Chelsea Green. You may remember she had a Queen of the Ring qualifying match she was supposed to be in with Alexa and Charlotte. Well, she was on vacation, so she didn't get that match. She comes out basically saying, hey, Alexa, if it was me in that spot, I would have won. She calls out Alexa. You have Piper Niven and you have Alba Fire also there as well. Charlotte comes up at that point, basically says, hey, don't be talking trash to Alexa. I want a match versus you tonight. So we find out that we get Chelsea Green versus Charlotte Flair. And at the end, Charlotte's like, hey, don't worry, Alexa. I'm not really here to save you. I'm just kind of doing it for myself. But interesting nonetheless. So I'm going to pop that. I'm going to pop the Jade Cargill stuff. So early on, you're looking okay. This might be decent. The Charlotte stuff wasn't really that great, in my opinion, to really kind of pop or drop it. I'll pop it just to see like the Charlotte and Alexa stuff. And at that point, you hear Chelsea Green versus Charlotte Flair. Yeah, I'm going to take that. That's great. At this point, you get kind of what seems to be a random throwaway match. You get Alistair Black versus Kit Wilson. Yeah, I said that right. Kit Wilson of Pretty Deadly comes out, and he's just kind of in the ring waiting. Alistair Black starts to get his entrance, starts to walk down the ramp. That's when R-Truth pops out. R-Truth attacks Kit Wilson in the ring, puts the STF on him, really kind of just dismantles him at that point, gets a mic, and says, Cena, get out here right now. I'm driving on my own terms. He goes ahead and he locks back the STF in again. And at that point, you have Jamie Noble, you have Jason Jordan, you have all of the runouts for security like we always love in WWE stuff. Jamie Noble kind of puts his hands over R-Truth's ears and says, hey, just calm down. Just stop. Just calm down a little bit. And at this point, you see Truth kind of like, yeah, okay. And he is kind of calmed by Jamie Noble. So it looks to me like they're running a split personality thing for Truth yet again. Kind of seems to be that way. Later on after that, Alistair Black basically comes up to Truth and says, well, I've got a problem with you. Don't be sticking your nose in my business. That's when Damian Priest pops up and is like, no, Alistair, it's fine. Walk away. I'll handle this. And he kind of gives Truth a motivational speech, basically. Pops or drops for this one. I'll pop the R-Truth slight split personality thing. I'm really hopeful in terms of what they decide to do with it. I'm a little bit worried, I will say, in terms of how they're going to handle it, especially as we'll get into later on in the night. But Alistair Black, Kit Wilson, even the Damian Priest like motivational speech, I wasn't really for it. I wasn't really excited about it. It didn't really move the needle for me. It was just like, okay, yeah, that's fine, whatever. They need to do something for me, at least, with Alistair Black to give me kind of a reason to care. I know it was awesome to kind of see him come back into WWE. It was nice to see him just get the first win or so. He's kind of feuding with Carmelo and The Miz. Well, The Miz is now obviously gone and off TV doing his Gladiator stuff, I believe. So it would be really nice to see Alistair Black kind of get some reason to really care. I haven't really got that yet. As for the R-Truth stuff, we'll see what happens. A little bit worried in terms of the split personality, how they decide to handle that. So at this point, you hear Cody Rhodes is coming out. And I think to myself, oh, all right, awesome. This is great. Cody Rhodes is going to cut a promo with Jey Uso. or on Jey Uso, I should say, as they have a semifinal match for King of the Ring on Monday on Raw. Cody Rhodes comes out, and everybody's wooing, and it's great, and it's fantastic. Before Cody even says anything, has the mic in his hand and goes to say something, Jey Uso's music hits, and everybody's eating, and Jey got a huge pop. I mean, I know he does all the time, but for anybody that says, hey, Jey should have been the champion still, this showed to me, hey, it's Jey Uso. People are still going to eat. People are still going to cheer. It's no big deal, honestly, at the end of the day. They're going to love Jey either way. And you got that, because he even said, we'll do it again. And we did it again. So Jey comes out and says, me and you been in the trenches. We've both been to the mountaintop. There's only room for one of us. And he says some other stuff still, but at that point, that's kind of the gist of this, right? Basically, me versus you. We're brothers. We're friends. We've been tag champs before. On Monday, that all changes. Me versus you. At that point, Sami Zayn comes out. Okay, well, we'll see where this goes. I mean, this is all nice, sharing a ring with my friends. I love both of you guys talking about how he is the only one that has not won a world title. So obviously he talks about Jey Uso, he talks about Cody Rhodes. Sami Zayn once again, almost a pity party. Hey, I haven't won a world title. Well, tough luck, Sami. So then at that point, Randy Orton comes out. Randy Orton says, he talks to Cody Rhodes, and he says, no line I will not cross to face, or when I face you, to beat John Cena. He looks at Jey. I respect you. Our families go way back, a lot of history. 3 letters, 1 move if you get in my way. Then he looks at Sami Zayn. One day in a world, you will be world champ, but that's not at SummerSlam. And so it's like, okay, this whole segment with the 4 finalists coming out, I'm dropping all of it. It was okay. It was fun. I yeeted. I woed. I sang Sammy's song. I sang Randy's song. Nothing really of substance here. It is, I guess, worthy to note, Cody Rhodes didn't get to speak. So maybe that's something big here. So now we go right into that, right from that, I should say, into Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. A really good back and forth match. You have Randy Orton do his vintage Orton drop to Sami Zayn on the outside. Sami Zayn returns the favor later on. They had a really good sequence here where Haluva kick is missed and it's reversed into an RKO, which is into a blue thunder bomb. 1, 2, ooh. This match was fun. A little slow. Obviously, it's a Randy Orton match, honestly. Sami sold his ass off. But then, Randy Orton, out of nowhere, RKO. Randy Orton, 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton gets the win. Randy Orton moves on to the final to face the winner of Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso at Night of Champions to be King of the Ring. And I'm going to pop it. We talked a little bit about in the past, hey, Randy versus Cody would be really, really interesting to see who fights John Cena. Well, I'm kind of surprised, honestly, at the end of the day, that he got the win over Sami just due to Sami's appearance, or I should say Sami's love in Saudi, right? Sami is loved in Saudi. It's over the top. People love the hell out of him. And so I thought Sami would have a spot there, but he doesn't. So we're once again continuing the Sami Zayn, hey, you're not going to be a world champion at this point. Maybe one day, going to continue that. Now he has Karrion Kross, because Karrion Kross said, hey, Sami, at the end of the day, when you're done with King of the Ring, I want to fight you. Maybe we get that on Raw. I'd be excited for that. But Randy Orton, sign me up. If it's Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes in the final, I'm ecstatic. I'm excited. I think that's a really, really good storyline. Jey Uso, for me, I think if Jey wins on Monday and the chance even of Jey being the King of the Ring to face Gunther again, that doesn't really excite me. But if it's Randy Cody, I'm all for it. I'm excited. And at this point, go to commercial break. We come back. Nia Jax is out there, and she starts to cut a promo on Tiffany Stratton. And Tiffany interrupts her. Basically says, hey, it's Tiffy time. Hey, I'll beat you again. Tiffany goes ahead and challenges Nia Jax next week in a last woman standing match for the title. It was a quick, short segment, but I'm going to pop it. Title match. Tiffany not backing down. Last woman standing, I think, is a fantastic stipulation to add to this match. I think it's going to be great. You can also tease Naomi cashing in. As we got here, we got a little bit of broken down stuff. And Nia lays out Tiffany. Naomi runs out with a ref. Nia also stops Naomi, though, from cashing in because she's the one that wants to take over. She's the one that wants that title. So I really like that dynamic. So maybe we get a tease at that next week. We shall see. And moving fast-paced from that, you got Chelsea Green versus Charlotte Flair. A match I was really, really excited for here. You had a Secret Harvest distraction. You had your basic stuff. Chelsea did hit a nice Rough Rider on Charlotte, so that was nice to see. But at the end of the day, it all goes out. Charlotte hits a figure 8. Chelsea Green taps rather quickly. And then Secret Harvest, Piper did a senton on Charlotte while she's bridging with a figure 8, which I thought was awesome, actually. And Secret Harvest goes down for the beatdown. At that point, Alexa Bliss comes for the save. She and Charlotte Flair stand tall. Looks like we could really be getting that tag team. They could maybe be the ones to challenge Raquel and Roxanne. Or, I think they're going to run a program, or maybe a match or two. I shouldn't say a whole program, but maybe a match. Beefab Michin versus Charlotte and Alexa. Obviously, Charlotte and Alexa will get that win. But at this point, it is now time for Solo Sakoa to go out there. And he's in the back, and he's talking to JC. JC's taping up his hands, and JC says, hey, well, basically, I'm taping up my hands in case I need to take out Jacob. And Solo says, no. I'm going to go out there by myself. When I was tribal chief, I was the only one that Jacob listened to. Jacob loves me. I know it's there. He goes out there, calls Jacob Fatu out to clear the air. Jacob Fatu comes out, and Solo says to him, I've always loved you, Jacob. When I was the tribal chief, I learned love. I learned that as lifting up others around me. And he stops and he looks at Jacob and he says, I do not have anybody else. I thought that was really nice. I really liked that point of it. Really liked that part. A little worried for maybe what does JC think about this. But at this point, Fatu responds, you've been using me, Solo. And he goes on to cut a promo basically, hey, maybe the problem is this U.S. title. I think you want this. Is this the problem? And he lays it down and says, if it is the problem, fight me for it. Okay, awesome. So later on, we do find out that it is going to be Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sakoa at Night of Champions. I'm going to go ahead and pop this. I should pop the Chelsea and Charlotte match as well. The Solo Jacob stuff tonight I thought was really good. I thought this was, at this point, the best part of the night in terms of a segment. Like I said, a lot of promo stuff tonight. I thought this stuff was really good. Solo once again continues to kind of uplift Jacob in terms of people caring about Jacob. Solo makes sure to really kind of point on that and touch on that. Really, really good stuff here from Solo Sakoa. Jacob Fatu is over as all hell, right? He doesn't have to say anything crazy at the end of the day. People are going to still cheer him. At the end of this, Solo did try to spike Jacob Fatu. JC did came out and attacked Jacob. Big Jim is here for the save. And they kind of basically just had Jacob and Big Jim stand tall. Curious to see kind of how that goes now that the sides are even, right? 2-on-2. Maybe we get that debut we thought we were getting tonight. But at the end of the day, Night of Champions, it's going to be good stuff. I think that's where we probably get it. If we do. So it'll be interesting to see. Excited. Both mid-card titles. Night of Champions. Really, the whole weekend is going to be great. So after this, we go ahead and we get Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. We come back from a commercial break, and Bronson Reed is getting in the ring. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's fine. Whatever. And then LA Knight's music hits. LA Knight doesn't come out. He ends up attacking Braun Breaker from behind, getting the jump on him, and he goes into the ring. Bronson Reed ends up actually having to carry Braun Breaker because Braun Breaker's so upset that he wants to get after LA Knight. So it was kind of nice there. We also had a moment earlier in the night I should bring up, made me laugh. Braun Breaker when Byron Saxton came to the back to talk to Paul Heyman to announce this match, Braun Breaker just starts barking at him like a dog when somebody rings the doorbell. Thought that was really good stuff. Really like Braun Breaker and just the dog barking flat out. This match ends up being kind of a nothing burger at the end of the day. It's really all about what happens towards the end of the match. So LA Knight obviously tries to get all his stuff in. Bronson Reed tries to get all his stuff in. But at the end of the day, LA Knight goes to run the ropes. Braun Breaker out of nowhere hits a spear on LA Knight. Disqualification. At that point, dogs are barking. Bronson Reed slides in. He holds LA Knight up. Braun Breaker goes, runs the ropes, 23 miles an hour. You know what it is. Spears LA Knight again. At that point, they are not done. Bronson Reed drags LA Knight over. Tsunami. Wade Barrett is loving it. He is excited. I don't think there's anybody that puts over that Tsunami as much as Wade Barrett. But Bronson Reed's not done. He goes ahead. He hits not one, but two more. So a total of 2 spears and 3 Tsunamis on LA Knight. Turns out LA Knight is going to be taken to a local medical facility after that. I mean, at the end of the day, I gotta pop this. This was great. I thought this was fantastic stuff. It's really needed for Bronson and Braun Breaker. You could look at them and say, hey, they've been booked kind of weak, right? Yeah, they're in Seth's faction. Yeah, they helped Seth win Money in the Bank. But at the end of the day, I really expected them to be more of a force. They cost people out of matches, but they weren't really destroying people like I wanted to see. This did that and more for me. I loved every second of this with Braun hitting the spears, Bronson Reed hitting the Tsunamis. It was one of those things where it's like, yeah, just keep doing it. Keep destroying them. Now at this point, you can have LA maybe off TV for a little bit, and then LA gets that big pop when LA returns. That's how I would do it at least, but probably wrong. And at this point, it is time for the main event. It's R-Truth, John Cena. This match wasn't really a match, right? So everybody had been kind of thinking, like, yeah, I think Punk ends up costing Truth, and Truth ends up beating Cena, and who knows, right? Well, you got a bunch of stuff. You had Cena trying to hit the 5-knuckle shuffle, Truth trying to do it as well. All this stuff. But at the end of the day, quick match. John Cena ends up taking his title, walking up the ramp. R-Truth chases him, says, hey, you can't do that. I want to finish this in the ring. Turns around, John Cena, boom. Title shot to the face. R-Truth's out. Ref calls for the DQ. He sets up for another one. He's sitting there waiting for Truth to get up. Win. CM Punk's music hits, and Cena runs back into the ring, and he starts running, and Punk runs in after him. Boom. Title shot to CM Punk as well at that point. Then at that point, John Cena goes to the outside, and he gets a Slim Jim table. I mean, who doesn't love a Slim Jim table? I know people say they're getting carried away with the sponsorships, but I mean, come on. It's a Slim Jim table. That just sounds fun to say. Takes it in the ring, sets it up, boom. Another title shot. CM Punk, boom, down for the count. That's 2. Cena picks him up. AA through the table. At this point, you're looking, you got like 12, 13, 14 minutes left in the show. And you think to yourself, well, Jesus, what are they going to do to fill this? I'll tell you what they do. They gave the promo of the night, potentially. That good. Well, I shouldn't say of the night. It was promo of the night. Maybe promo of the year. It is that good. It is a golden pop. I mean, the match itself, it is what it is, whatever. That's secondary at this point, right? CM Punk is laid out. He's in between the table. John Cena gets on the top rope, and he picks up a mic, and the mic kind of cuts out for a second. He starts tapping and says, I think somebody is afraid of what I am going to say. That's when the stuff gets good. So John Cena at this point cuts a reverse pipe bomb promo on CM Punk. And if you haven't watched this, go do it justice. I tried to write down all that I could, but obviously not going to be able to write down every word, and I don't have the ability. So Cena looks at Punk. I hate the idea of best in the world. You're not that. I'm the GOAT. And he's telling CM Punk how he doesn't hate CM Punk. He just hates the idea. He says, you're the best bullshitter in the world. And at this point, the whole crowd is, oh my God. He goes, yeah, John Cena's cussing. He said a cuss word. He's breaking the fourth wall. Really, really good stuff at this point. I'm jealous of you. I'm jealous that people chant for you. When you come out, they sing for you. But they don't believe you. Because you change your values as much as I change the colors of my shirts. I thought that was a really, really good line. Or he might have just said, I changed my shirts, because there is one in every city, so that makes a little bit more sense, but still so good. At this point, he tells Stu to get real close and calls out another cameraman as well. And if you may remember from the Pipebomb promo, years ago from CM Punk, right, he says hi to Colt Cabana. Waves to Colt Cabana. Well, at this point, he says hi to Claudio, AEW. He He says, hi, Nick Nemeth, and hi, Matt Cardona, which, I mean, all three of those names being mentioned, and me being a big Nick Nemeth fan and a Matt Cardona fan, I love that. This was great. I enjoyed this so much. He looks back at Punk. Remember who gave you your pipe bomb stage? You regurgitate the 5 mic moves of doom. Then he goes on to say, you are Mr. TKO. Your tweets are strong. Your actions are weak. You were the best in the world for 7 minutes, 14 years ago. And if you're still the best in the world after Night of Champions, then it is a small world after all. He picks up the mic at one point at the end and basically says, if Grand Rapids is any indication of anything, the mood is starting to change. So John Cena cuts a reverse pipe bomb promo on CM Punk to end SmackDown this week. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. This will be legendary. It is legendary. If you haven't watched it, go watch it now. I mean, there's not much I can really say. People may say, hey, is Cena the face? Is he the heel? What is Cena supposed to be? I think that's really up for you to decide at this point. There was a lot of truth in John Cena's statements, as there always kind of have been as of late. CM Punk is just the next victim sort of thing. This was phenomenal stuff. I mean, I don't even know really where to begin, where to end. There's so much to unpack and unbreak, and it's just so good. Promo of the year, I would say. Definitely the best John Cena promo I've heard in a really, really long time. If this was the Cena we're going to get from now until the end of the run in 6 months, you can sign me up every day of the week. Just that good. John really kind of saved what was a not great SmackDown. I didn't keep track of the pops and drops. I was probably a little bit more positive than I needed to be. This episode wasn't fantastic by any stretch of the means, but John put an exclamation point on the end of it, and it was just that good. John Cena is the GOAT. I think it's really kind of hard to deny that at this point. So with that, SmackDown ends. We're pretty excited for Night of Champions. We're a week away at this point. You got King of the Ring stuff coming up on Monday on Raw. Then all of the stack stuff. You have a tag title match, a women's championship match on Raw. You also have Fatu at Night of Champions. You got Night of Champions. You got a loaded SmackDown. It's going to be great stuff. Julia, Zelina Vega next week on SmackDown. So this week's about to be really, really good. On Monday as well, we'll be back, and I can get a little bit of a break, back to my normal spot here. As always, thank you guys for talking about the live stream. It was a hell of a fun time. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys really kind of saved it for me as well tonight. And as always, if you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that fun stuff. We just hit 10K on TikTok. If you know a friend that likes wrestling content or likes kind of a family atmosphere, well, and I are cousins, obviously. So go ahead and make sure to share that, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But as always, I am Brandon. I am one half of the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling podcast. I will see you guys next time.